Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Kini News. It's the first day of 2020, the beginning of a brand new school year, and today there was an announcement from the Education Minister in a special press conference. Maszlee Malik announced his resignation effective tomorrow. Education Minister Maszlee Malik has announced his resignation effective tomorrow. Maszlee made the announcement in a special press conference in Putrajaya this evening. He said the decision was made after meeting Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad.
Selepas pertemuan dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri sebentar tadi, di atas nasihat beliau yang merupakan bagi saya seorang ayahanda dan seorang pemimpin dan seorang negarawan yang ulung, dan di atas dasar ketaatan dan disiplin kepada kepimpinan parti dan kerajaan, maka saya dengan hati yang reda walaupun berat, dengan nasihat daripada Yang Amat Berhormat Ayahanda Perdana Menteri, saya Maszlee Malik dengan ini memulangkan semula jawatan saya sebagai Menteri Pendidikan Malaysia kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri berkuat kuasa 3 Januari 2020. Sekian, terima kasih.
Maszlee had received intense criticism against him in helming the education portfolio. He came under fire over several policies, such as the plan to make school shoes black by 2021 and over the introduction of Jawi in the Year 4 Bahasa Malaysia syllabus. Earlier in the press conference, Maszlee highlighted several achievements made by the Education Ministry and pointed out that these were not being highlighted. When announcing his resignation, Maszlee had highlighted some of the achievements that his ministry had attained. He said that the Education Ministry was the first to make a report on their performance 100 days after the start of Pakatan Harapan's administration and was the first to do so at the end of the year for transparency. He added that they had made education more inclusive, especially for children of the B40 category, as well as reviewing the University and University College Act 1995, among others. However, Maszlee said that these were not highlighted by the media and it was often drowned out by negative press. He said instead he was seen as someone who had courted controversies to the government.
Saya sebagai menteri yang menerjui KPM lebih dilihat sebagai menimbulkan banyak krisis kepada kepimpinan, seperti isu Jawi, isu internet sekolah dan isu sarapan percuma, dan juga beberapa isu-isu sampingan yang lain. Walaupun saya percaya saya telah meletakkan asas dan hala tuju yang jelas untuk dituruti oleh warga KPM.
In a statement, Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad said that he has accepted Maszlee Malik's resignation and thanked him for his service as a cabinet minister. He said that the decision on who will replace the latter as the next education minister will be made in an announcement soon. Now, speaking of Jawi, around 300 people attended a rally to defend the Jawi script and to call for Dong Zong to be banned yesterday. Around 300 people attended a rally to defend the Jawi script and call for Dong Zong to be banned, which took place in front of the Sogo shopping complex in Kuala Lumpur yesterday. The rally was organized by the Malaysian Muslim Students Coalition JAMIS and were joined by other groups including UMNO Siswa, Gerakan Pembela Ummah and PAS. The rally was supposed to begin with a march from Masjid Jamek, Kuala Lumpur to Sogo. However, as the group prepared to march, GAMIS President Saifullah Baiduri announced that the march had been called off. At a press conference later, Saifullah said that if Dong Zong continues to raise issue with the Jawi lessons, GAMIS would hold an even larger rally and send a memorandum to the Raja Permaisuri Agong. He was evasive when asked whether the group had obtained permission to hold the rally, whereas the Dangwangi OCPD Muhammad Fahmi Visuvantan had said yesterday that the police were not notified of the rally. Saifullah merely said the group had been in contact with the police for, quote, a long time. And now we move on to some international headlines. Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, apologized on Wednesday for having angrily slapped a woman's arm when she grabbed hold of his hand and yanked him towards her. Pope Francis apologized on Wednesday for having angrily slapped a woman's arm on New Year's Eve when she had grabbed hold of his hand and yanked him towards her, saying he had lost his patience and set a, quote, bad example.
So many times we lose patience, even me, and I apologize for yesterday's bad example.
His apology came after he used his first Mass of the year to denounce violence against women, which he compared to profaning God. Francis also addressed another theme close to his heart, which is immigration, saying that women who moved abroad to provide for their children should be honored, not scorned. He also said that women, quote, must be fully involved in decision-making processes. Last April, the Pope said that the Church had to acknowledge a history of male domination and sexual abuse of women. A month later, he appointed for the first time 4 women to an important Vatican department that prepares the major meetings of world bishops. Over in Iraq, members of paramilitary groups and their supporters who have been protesting against United States airstrikes in Iraq have withdrawn from the perimeter of the US Embassy in Baghdad on Wednesday.
This will not be a Benghazi. Benghazi should never have happened. This will never ever be a Benghazi.
Supporters of Iranian-backed Iraqi paramilitary groups who stormed the US Embassy in Baghdad and hurled rocks in 2 days of protests withdrew on Wednesday after Washington dispatched extra troops and threatened reprisals against Tehran. The demonstrators, angry at US airstrikes against the Tehran-backed Kataib Hezbollah group, in which at least 25 people were killed, threw stones at the building while US forces stationed on the rooftops fired tear gas to disperse them. Protesters breached an outer perimeter of the embassy but did not enter the main compound. By mid-afternoon on Wednesday, most appeared to have obeyed a call to withdraw. The unrest follows US air raids on Sunday against Kataib Hezbollah bases in retaliation for missile attacks that killed a US contractor in northern Iraq last week. US President Donald Trump accused Iran of orchestrating the violence. On Tuesday, he threatened to retaliate against Iran but later said that he did not want a war. Washington said its diplomats were safe and it was rushing hundreds of extra troops to the region. According to the Iraqi military, all protesters had left by the evening. Before we wrap up, here are some other news highlights from today. And that's all for the first episode of Kini News in 2020. For more, you can log on to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook and Dailymotion for the latest news updates. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.